All right, let's talk about the player who is taking the world by storm here, Puka Nacua, the guy who, I'm not sure how many people were too high on Puka Nacua, drafting him early in fantasy leagues or anything like that. Let's ask the question, who is Puka Nacua? So this is his Pro Football Focus draft page. Again, he was a 5th round selection in the draft. One thing the Rams do very well is they constantly trade back and constantly get a ton of draft picks. Everyone talks about the lack of first round picks and things like that, which, that's true, no doubt about it. But another thing they do is, with doing that, the other side of the coin is they consistently get contributors in later rounds, and it looks like Nacua is the newest guy who might not just be a contributor, but a actively good player. And you see, PFF did grade him very highly in his last season, kind of a one-year wonder a little bit. Did have a good 2021 and then a very good 2022 graded season according to them. For whatever that's worth, it is worth mentioning that PFF grades for receivers at the college level don't translate that well to the NFL level compared to like offensive linemen and stuff. But still, okay, so that's who he is. And this year, if you look at his PFF grades, he's been great. His best game was just this past one, according to PFF, but has consistently been a good player for them. Grades over 80 in 3 out of these 4, a grade over 70 in all 4 games so far. So it's like he's not just a stat merchant. Like, he is playing well. But also, if you look at the stats, this is outstanding stuff. He has 500 yards. 500 yards in 4 games. He's on pace to break the record for most yards in a season. Not for a rookie, just period. Now, again, I feel like 4 weeks through the season, there's always a receiver or two that's on pace to break the record. Easier to do it in 4 games than to do it throughout the course of a 17-game season. But still, it shows how dominant he's been. So, okay, that's what the numbers are. That's who he is. But what does the tape say? Well, let's go over to a play like this, where what's going to happen is it's going to be zone coverage, and Nacua's going to be running a route over the middle. This is a lot of what the Rams like to do, right? Kind of get you in zone coverage and then run, concepts that can beat zone coverage consistently to get guys open. They don't just believe that if you have a number 1 wide receiver, put him on the outside and let him go win. We've seen it with Cooper Kupp, and now we're seeing it with Nacua. When Stafford takes the snap, I love how Nacua runs this route. His route running has really been impressive to me, where you see he is not giving anything away at this point. He has not shown where he's running, which is great because the defensive back who's, covering him on this play, you see how, while his hips are turned towards the middle, over the middle, which is where Nacua is running, you see how he's kind of a yard or so above Nacua on the screen. So when Nacua finally does cut, he gets that little just, push, and at that point, the Colts tried to go with a switch there because he was just open, which, wasn't going to work. Probably got to stick with him at that point. But also a flag at the end there as well. But, great stuff from Nacua to make that play. Also great stuff to hang on after that hit. That's also very impressive. So just a really good play all around by Puka Nacua. Something like this is a perfect example as well, where, okay, same kind of concept, sure, got it, understood. We get how these things work, runner going over the middle. But you might be wondering, wait a second, where's the receiver on this play? Isn't Nacua supposed to be, at the beginning of that route? Like, what's going on? Well, because Nacua's in motion, and that's how he's going to be running this. He's going to go up and then run this route. So it's a traditional route, but they're doing it in unique ways. And again, this is what the Rams do. This is what the Rams did with Cooper Kupp, and they're treating Nacua like a Cooper Kupp, which is, a lot of teams sometimes think, okay, we have good receivers. Let's just let them go on the outside and try and win, and then we'll try to scheme open the other guys. What the Rams do is they say, no, we're going to put our best players in position to succeed. We're going to put our resources and put a lot of our strategies towards, getting our best receivers open instead of getting our worst receivers open. So watch how when Stafford runs this play action, Nacua, again, he runs in between the tight end and the offensive lineman to go up here. So it's almost like a tight end route a little bit, but you see how open he is at this point. Stafford makes the throw, and Nacua does good stuff in open space to pick up as many yards as possible. Look at that work there. So really good stuff from Puka Nacua all around. But also, this is just kind of why you expect this stuff to work and why you expect Nacua to continue to play well, because the Rams just do a very good job at putting him in a position to succeed. Going over here to more traditional plays, because I want to make it clear that I don't think he's just a product of the Rams system. I think he's a good player, and I think he fits the system very well, but I think that he's someone who, is capable and is just a talented player in general. So like this play, gonna be running a quick route, quick slant route here. It's zone coverage, but with him being the only receiver really in that area at all, the corner who's in that area, this might as well be a one-on-one matchup. I mean, that's just kind of how it's set up. Watch as when Stafford takes the snap really early on in this play. I'm barely, we're a second in at this point. Yeah, 1 second and one extra frame into the play, according to my editing software. That's how far we are into this play. But you see how the corner is already playing so far off. I mean, again, you do kind of understand why, because, like I said, it is zone coverage. It's not quite man. But he's giving Nacua space underneath, and Nacua's going to take advantage. And watch him cut. He cuts so smoothly. And I think, to me, that's kind of one of the main things that I feel like when you're wondering, hey, is this receiver actually really good, or is he just, racking up some yards and is going to fall back down to earth? Watch how well they cut. If they're cutting like that, they're going to work in the NFL level. He does the little things. And again, will Cooper Kupp come along and take some of his yards? Maybe. But also Cooper Kupp will come along and take away some of the attention as well. So it goes both ways. And also, got to talk about his walk-off touchdown. Amazingly, his only touchdown so far in his young career, despite the fact that he has over 500 yards, just the one touchdown. But it was a touchdown in overtime because, of course, it was. The way this play works, it's actually, I'm not even going to break it down too much, just going to show where he is, because 3rd down and 4, it's just going to be a blown coverage. Watch, Stafford takes a snap, and of course he's going to notice this. I mean, Stafford, notices a lot, hits Nacua, so okay, you could say whatever, blown coverage, he gets a touchdown, no big deal. But he's going to do something that I think is really impressive here, which is, you're in this situation, it's not a guaranteed touchdown, right? There is a defender who's going to come in and try and make a play. However, watch this, and tell me that move doesn't remind you of Cooper Kupp. I mean, tell me that this player doesn't remind you of Cooper Kupp. I know it's not fair to compare the two players, but they do have a lot of similar characteristics, in my opinion. At the end of the day, I do think that there are some holes in this Rams roster. I do. I don't think this is a complete roster, and I think there are some flaws here. However, make no mistake about it, it is a passing league. And you know what a great way to, get around some of the flaws you have is throw the football well. And, what great way to do that is to have a really good quarterback in Matthew Stafford and have multiple really good receivers, Obviously, we know once Cooper Kupp gets back, whenever that will be, they have one, but Nacua is doing a lot of good stuff, and I am kind of buying into the Rams hype, largely because I am buying into the Puka Nacua hype. I think that he is just a talented player, and I think he's going to be around for a while. I do. I'm buying in already. Again, is he going to set the record for most yards? I don't know. We'll see, but it would be hilarious if it happened. But, is he a really good player? Yeah, he's a really good player. I mean, that's what I think. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.